Hey, good morning. On my way to Gainesville, Georgia today, and just thought I'd give you a quick chat on fake it till you make it, act it out. You know, a lot of people don't believe in that, but I do. It's been an experience of mine. You've got to see yourself doing things that you currently don't do. Even God believed in that. In Romans chapter 4, God told Abraham, they were sitting around talking one day, and God said, Abraham, come on outside and I want to show you something. Abraham said, what are you going to show me, God? And God said, look up at the stars in the sky. So Abraham looked up at the stars and he said, oh my gosh, there's so many of them. And God said, well, so shall your dependents be. And Abraham said, well, God, how can that be? Because I don't even have any children yet. And God said, look up there and visualize and call those things that be not as though they are. Your descendants will be as stars in the sky. And so Abraham started doing that. He said basically that I'm going to call those things that are not true as if they are true, so they will become true. So what happened after that is Abraham, it took many, many years longer. I think the number is around 30 years longer before Abraham actually had any children. But he kept saying that he was going to be the father of many nations, and so it was. So that's the way it is with us in our business. And there was a time in my past that of course I've already mentioned to you that I'm very introverted. And there was a time in my past where I taught a Sunday school class, and it was just rote teaching. And then I saw a guy on TV that I wanted to emulate. And I would watch that guy over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and eventually started emulating his moves and his techniques for teaching, his confident style and all of that sort of stuff. And it became, it wasn't immediate, but eventually it became easier for me to get up in front of the class and do some teaching, and he would even have motions and emotions like him. And eventually I became him in my teachings. And that's the way it is with any actor. You got to fake it until you make it. And can you imagine Tom Hanks in the movie Forrest Gump? He had to go out and he had to practice. It may have taken years for Tom Hanks to become Forrest Gump in reality. But he had to become Forrest Gump in reality in order to get in front of the cameras and be Forrest Gump in front of the cameras and make people believe it. So faking it until you're making it actually does work. So there's a story in John Maxwell's book, Intentional Living, that he quotes out of a magazine about Dolly Parton. And Dolly grew up very poor. And I have the story in my blog, so you can read the blog. But Dolly grew up very poor, but she was singing from a very early age. So people would ask her to sing, her family would ask her to sing, and she would get up on her front porch that had holes in it and that sort of thing. She would put a microphone, or she would put a tin can on top of a stick and pretend that was a microphone. And she would stand up on her porch and sing to the top of her lungs songs that she had already written, just songs that she made up. And she would pretend that the chickens in the front yard were her audience, and they were just excited and happy about what was going on. She pretended that the clothes that she had on were rhinestone dresses and silk dresses and things that she could see in her head that she one day wanted to have in her life. So Dolly Parton did the same thing. She practiced it, she faked it until she made it. And when she made it, she knew exactly what she was going to be like on stage, the clothes that she wanted to wear, the way she wanted to sing, the way she wanted to look, all from practicing it at an early age. And we can do the same thing. You go onto YouTube, you pick out somebody that you really enjoy listening to, somebody that you want to emulate, somebody that you want to have the success look and attitude and appearance that person might have, and then watch them on YouTube over and over and over and over and over and over until you become just like them. And what you do is you see yourself now as you want to be in the future, and you begin to act it out. I know we've heard this over and over and over, but until you do it in your own life, you're never going to experience the reality of that happening in your life. So do that today in order to act it out, fake it until you make it. Find somebody you like, watch their YouTubes over and over and over, practice your speeches, know what it's going to feel like when you get up on stage, know what it's going to be like, what you're going to say, not necessarily word for word what you're going to say, but how you're going to pace the floor as you walk and talk. What emotions are you going to have? What arm movements are you going to have when you're up there talking? Get excited, because it's going to happen to you. And watch the video. I'll explain it a little bit more in the video and give you a little more detail on Dolly's progress. But watch the video. Also, read the blog. And click the link below and join our business with us. Talk to you later.